Oh, hi. This is my father's walking stick. I got it for him a few years before he passed, and he passed 16 years ago. It's a beautiful, hand-carved walking stick. I got it somewhere on the East Coast, bought online through a maker that carves these by hand. And to this day, it is one of the most cherished things that I own. In a lot of ways, you could say that I am nostalgic about this stick. And that's what today's video is about. What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff from My God, I just had coffee. Okay, let's try that again. What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff from Last Manor. I just want to say shout out to Captain Ricky for making that video about us, for us, highlighting a lot of the products we sell, introducing us to his fans. You guys are awesome, by the way. The comments that were on that video were incredible. They really made my week. We congratulate all of the winners of the gift card contest. We've contacted most of you. I think there's a few people that are still yet to respond, but we will get those gift cards out to you. And thank you for subscribing. It's nice to see you here. You guys are awesome. As I was reading through the comments, they really inspired today's video, which is a bit on why I curate the way that I do. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is it that goes into picking a product for the store? And I have a lot of answers for that. A lot of it is technical and kind of boring. The big answer is quality. We definitely want the highest quality items that we can find. But another big part of it has to do with nostalgia. And I noticed that a lot of you guys wrote in the comments how that leather finger football that we just introduced is so nostalgic for you, that it literally brought back a piece of your youth. I thought, a lot of the stuff in the store, that's what this is about. So let's talk a little bit about what is nostalgia. I think nostalgia can be broken up into 4 categories. And the first one would be nostalgia for an earlier version of your life. Nostalgia for being a kid. And I think that's where that finger football set comes in. When I was a kid, we did a lot with, not finger football, but we did spitball firing. We would take wads of paper and put spit on it and put it in a straw and shoot it. I don't think that we're gonna redo that, although I have a feeling a really high-end version of that would sell well. I don't think that we're gonna do that. But finger football was big amongst my friends, and it's just a thrill to bring it back. But bring it back in a nice, sophisticated way where we can have our adult self meet our child self in this kind of magical way. There are other items like that, like spinning tops and puzzles and things that you did as a kid that were just about fun and not about screens and not about work. It was just something to play with. That's a huge part of the nostalgic items we like to showcase here at Last Manor. Another type of nostalgia, I think, has to do with the nostalgia of a gift. And this has a lot to do with passing on things throughout the generations. Now, my father didn't own a lot of things that he was passing down, but he had things that were really special to him that when he passed ended up with me, and one of them was that walking stick. The walking stick, funny enough, was something that I had gotten him, and it was a handmade, hand-carved, and it was something he just wanted to carry around. He didn't even really need a walking stick. He just wanted to have something fun to carry around, and that became his walking stick. And he would come out at parties that he would host, and he would just put it in between his arm and stand there and say, I have this walking stick. There was no use for it. He thought it was a sophisticated way to host a party. And now that gift has become a gift back to me, and it is something that I cherish and hold on to and think about all the time. So oftentimes when I'm looking at stuff to carry for the store, I want something that is going to be lasting an entire lifetime, that is going to be able to be gifted on to the next person and the next person and the next person. Which leads me into a different take on that nostalgia, which is the nostalgia for someone important in your life. For me, my father was an extremely important person in my life. And one thing that we always used to love to do together was watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. It's an underrated movie. It got a really bad score on Rotten Tomatoes. Who cares about Rotten Tomatoes? It's an incredible movie. They don't make movies like that anymore, and I am the guy that's saying they don't make movies like that anymore. I rest my case. It's amazing. That being said, it was something that we just shared. Every year we would watch this movie together, and it would be this delightful experience that to this day remains extremely important to me. And early on when I started the store, we had these retro movie posters. We still have them. We carry Alien, Pulp Fiction, Big Lebowski, a lot of classics. And they were reimagined, reinvented illustrations done by this brilliant artist named Claudia Verasio out of England. Now, when I started thinking about movie posters, the only one I could think of was Robin Hood. And now, of course, there wasn't a Robin Hood poster because it wasn't the cult classic of Pulp Fiction or Big Lebowski or Alien. And so I asked her if she would craft Robin Hood posters for the store exclusively. And she did. And so we created 2 Robin Hood posters. One was of the Sheriff of Nottingham face to face with Robin Hood with Maid Marian in the background. And one was one of our favorite moments when the sheriff goes up to the statue, and the statue has stitches on it that were matching the stitches that Robin Hood had given him earlier in the movie. It's a hilarious moment. It's a moment that my father and I used to love. Bringing that poster in just felt so right and so special to me. And it just made me very nostalgic for our relationship, for who he was in my life. And I think curating that kind of thing is extremely important. I think another type of nostalgia is the nostalgia for experience or experiences that you've had. Whenever I traveled, particularly abroad, I always kept a journal. And I also work as a photographer and had worked as a photographer for many years, and I journaled through images as well. But I wasn't great at journaling with a pen. I just felt like it was important to match the image with text. And I used to carry around a little notes journal like this, and I would just write little notes every day about what was going on. And then at the end of the trip, I would match those notes to the photos that I took. And it became this complete memory for me and a way of just revisiting some of the most special times in my life. But I never found a journal jacket for this sort of notebook that I really liked, that I felt like would last a lifetime, that I could swap out the trip each time with a new notebook, put it in the case, and have it ready to go. And so that is why we introduced this notebook here. It is a beautifully crafted notebook that will last a lifetime, hand-stitched by one of our best leather workers. And I made it so that we could have the pen and the field notes notebook, and it could be interchanged every trip. And for me, this is just a reminder about experience, about seeing the world, interacting with the world, enjoying the world, and getting off the screens. I think the last type of nostalgia for me is the nostalgia for simpler times. And this is a little bit different than when I used to be a kid. This is just simpler times, the zeitgeist, the simpler times, the macro. The times where the world wasn't so fast and wasn't so digital and wasn't so on to the next thing. That's a major part of what I'm looking for, is a reminder of the way we used to do things, which was measured and sometimes slow, but always deliberate and always with purpose. There are so many things that I find that are reminders of this, from flashlights to the lighters to the flasks, all these type of handmade items that are simply beautiful and simply functional. A lot of times we will release vintage goods, binoculars from the Parisian opera, where people had to carry this accessory in order to see this live event. And it wasn't just holding up a screen and zooming in and recording. It was live, it was present. Mechanical dice, this idea of having dice in your pocket that you just push a button and it spins these dice. I don't know, it's just the gears and the simplicity of it. It just reminds me of humans working on things, humans making something beautiful, humans crafting things. The same word throughout, humans. Humans are so necessary, and the further that we go into this digital AI type future, the more that we are going to cherish and understand exactly what that human touch has to do with the things that we carry and the things that we interact with and the communities that we build. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you like what you're seeing, if you like interacting with me and talking about cool EDC, particularly stuff that is of very high quality, that is tied to the human experience, give us a follow, give us a like, share this with your friends, come see the store. It's an awesome store. And I think that anything that you find in that store is gonna last you a lifetime. And I would love to participate in helping you find the next heirloom for your life. With that said, I'll see you next time.